Imagine this. You're just 18 years old. You leave your home, your parents, your siblings, your friends, everything that you know. You board a plane alone and fly thousands of miles to Israel, a country where you were not born to wear a uniform you weren't required to wear and to fight in a war that most of the world does not understand. You're not doing it for glory. You're not doing it for money. You're doing it because somewhere deep in your soul, you know that this fight is yours too. This is the story of Israel's lone soldiers, young men and women who leave behind comfort, safety, and family to stand with Israel. Some come from America, others from South Africa, Australia, Europe, and South America, from over 60 different countries. What unites them is a sense of purpose that cannot be taught, a commitment to Israel, to her people, and to something far bigger than themselves. And that commitment comes with real sacrifice. Since October 7th, over 5,000 lone soldiers have served on the front lines, some in the Gaza Strip, others in the northern border, some were called up from reserve duty. More than a dozen lone soldiers have been killed since the start of the war, many more wounded physically and emotionally. And still, they served. Today, we dive deep into this world. What does it mean to choose this life, to defend a homeland that wasn't yours by birth, but is yours by heart? Let's meet them. Israel is small. You can drive from the northern tip to the southern edge in just about 6 hours. We're a country of around 9 million people, and we live in one of the toughest neighborhoods on earth. Iran, who just fought a fierce 12-day war against us, has over 92 million citizens and more than 600,000 active military personnel. Let's not forget, we are surrounded. Terror armies, hostile regimes, proxy forces, every border a threat. And yet, we stand strong. Israel's army is made up of mostly citizen soldiers, young men and women who began mandatory service at the age of 18. Men serve up to 3 years, women 2. And behind them stands a powerful reserve force. That means that we rely on everyone, teachers, medics, engineers. When war breaks up, they suit up. And then there are those who don't have to be here at all, but they chose to be. The lone soldiers, young men and women from around the world who leave everything behind to defend a home that isn't even theirs until it is. I'm on my way now to meet Reut Engel. She's just 24 years of age, moved to Israel alone from England, determined to serve in the idea. And since October 7, she served 300 days inside Gaza as a combat medic, the only woman in her unit. Brave and heroic doesn't even begin to subscribe here. Reut is strength wrapped up in kindness and humility. So let's go meet her. But before we do, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. This story matters. So Reut, it's really great to be here with you. And we are sitting in the Independence Park in Jerusalem. This is a very different scenery from the Gaza Strip.
Yeah, 100%.
I want to take you back to the first time you entered Gaza as a paramedic, the only woman of your unit. Can you share how did that feel for you?
It was pure shock. It's a scary situation. The best way I can describe it is 0 to 100 every time. And it goes to 100 and it's life and death. It's the real stuff and it's scary.
Your job is being a paramedic. So you're in charge of literally saving lives. What kind of training did you have to go in order to become a paramedic?
In order to be a paramedic in the Army, you do about a 1.5 year course. The training, in some ways, completely prepared me. My medical knowledge was there, but I don't think anything could have prepared you for what you were actually seeing in Gaza. And also the understanding that it's not a soldier who falls, it's not an injured, it's not an injury. It's a person who has a mum, who has a dad. And I remember being like, I know he's dead before anybody else does.
You're the first one to know.
His mum doesn't know he's dead. I have no clue who he is. I don't know his name. I know nothing about him. But yet the girl he was intending to marry, his kids, they don't know, and I know.
Wow, yeah, that's tough. We hear around the world all these accusations that Israel is starving the Gazan population, is that we are the cause of all the suffering for the Palestinian people. Yet you, as a IDF medic, you treated terrorists that were part of the attacks against Israelis on October 7th. Can you share about this story? Because I'm sure that our viewers have never heard something like that.
Well, I have to start by saying, unfortunately, most of the stuff you hear is all wrong. We're probably the only country in history that's ever fed the people we're fighting.
Exactly.
I can tell you I also help people stand watch of the trucks coming in. I treated specifically terrorists, but I also treated just the civilians that got, unfortunately, caught in the crossfire. It was not nice, and it does make you question, especially when the whole world's against you. But there I remembered, because you're treating people that have swastikas tattooed on them and are there trying to kill you, and they're spitting on you, and you're treating them. And it made me realize that there's a whole question if giving the aid is okay, and that whole debate. But I always say that if there's one thing I learned in Gaza is if our problems were too nice, then I'm okay that that's my problem.
Being in Gaza is hard. I mean, it's not easy for anybody. And then the one thing that you want to do when you come home is to have like a meal, have your mother taking care of you, washing your clothes. But your story is different than most of the soldiers in Israel because you're also a lone soldier, meaning that you don't have a family to go back to in Israel. Can you share a little bit about how does it feel to go home and not have that?
Being a lone soldier is one thing. Being a soldier in a war is something. Being a lone soldier in a war is something else entirely. And that's something no one prepares you for. No army training can prepare you for what that is. I remember the first time we came home, and I was like, oh, wow, I don't know what I'm coming home to. I came home, and I spent an hour cleaning the fridge because everything was off. And then I said, okay, I need food. I said, okay, am I gonna go out to buy food? But at that point, you're still in this situation of your first time home, you don't even know which way's up. You have no one to talk to. No one's waiting there with a hug. And when you do speak to your parents, and you do speak to your friends back home, you're not gonna tell them what's going on because they're already scared, and you're not gonna try and make it worse. And even when you do try, they don't know what you're talking about. One of the hardest parts of people coming out is the quiet really gets to you. You come home and the house is completely quiet. For me, I would walk in, it'd be an empty, dark house, and it'd be quiet. Gaza is so loud, and you're used to it, and it's quiet. And a normal person, a normal soldier goes, okay, so I'll stay home. I'll stay with the family. I'll stay with my friends. I'll have that loud atmosphere that I need. I remember the first time I officially cried in the war was October 14th, and all these parents started driving down and bringing food. And I'm sitting on the floor, and we're eating schnitzel that this woman had made and brought down. I sat there, and I see everyone's parents, and I just sat there, and I burst into tears.
What helped you during your challenges here?
The Low Soldier Center in memory of Michael Levine.
Can you just list a few things that the center is doing in order to help you? Practical things.
Practical things, it's the first person you call when you get home. It's the first person you go to when, oh, I finished school, I finished work, I have a couple of minutes in the center of town. I didn't even think I could fully draft. When I came, I had all these things. I didn't know what the process was. I sat down, had a meeting. My advisor from the center is still my advisor today. He applied to school for me. He helped me with my scholarships to school.
Going back to the Gaza Strip, I think one of the most traumatic events that took place in the Gaza Strip were multiple explosions, destroyed a few buildings, and then we had more than 20 casualties in one incident in the Gaza Strip that involved terrorists coming out of tunnels and explosive devices, and you were there. Can you share how did you feel and what happened that day?
Till we brought them out of the rubble was already something else, and not everyone's whole, and you're trying to play jigsaw and mash people up and have bags of one whole body, and it was awful. and you're looking at it and you're saying, this isn't 21 people, this isn't 22 people, this isn't 23 people, this is millions of people. This is his whole circle of friends, his whole family, his parents. This one's married with 6 kids, it's his whole life. And you start thinking of, wow, each person has to go through that feeling of, who do I want to call? Who do I want them to call for me? And that brings you back also to Lone Soldier. I can tell you that the first time I fell and I got hurt, I remember saying, who are they going to call? Who's even the first person to call? Do I need to make a number? I actually gave them the number of someone from the Lone Soldier Center because I needed someone that I knew could get there and could get to the hospital and be correct until everybody else got there, and until I have no doubt that my parents would make it there, but that someone first would be there and someone knew if I was allergic to anything. And it's a petrifying moment of what's going to happen to me next.
So thank you, Ruth, for sharing. And guys, I want to take this opportunity to invite you to support this amazing initiative of the Lone Soldier Center in memory of Michael Levine. So if you want to support this organization and lone soldiers like Ruth that are fighting in the IDF, in Gaza, in Lebanon, defending all of us, and want a warm place to come home to in the weekend, and a lot more than just that, you can go to lonesoldiercenter.com/donate. Again, that's lonesoldiercenter.com/donate. You can see the link here on the screen. Make your donation and help Israel in this war. Ehud and so many other lone soldiers do not do this alone. They rely on care, guidance, and on the wisdom of those who've walked the same path in the past. Like Uri, he's 27, moved to Israel to serve in the Kfir Brigade, which is an infantry unit, and has been serving as a reservist since this war began. He works at the Lone Soldier Center, mentoring the next generation of lone soldiers.
What's going on? What's going on? How are you? Welcome. Come on in.
Yeah, show me the place.
Let's go. We're in central Jerusalem, Ben Yehuda. This is the home for all our lone soldiers when they come home for the weekends, in the middle of the week. Just relax and take their minds off the army, minds off the week, and just come in here with a little bit of a chill.
This is a crazy location. I mean, it's really in the center of everything.
Perfect location. Upstairs, a few couches, people to rest their heads. Some offices if someone wanted to speak with a psychologist, someone wanted to speak with something more intimate. Friday night dinners.
Yeah.
We have a lot of volunteers coming to help us cook, really making it a very special and homely place.
There's actually 2 different types of lone soldiers. So there's a lone soldier born in Israel, Israeli, where their parents don't support them. And then there's a lone soldier, more relevant to us, where they're coming from overseas and their parents are stuck overseas. They're in whichever country they come from. And they're here serving Israel by themselves.
Were you a lone soldier?
So I was a lone soldier. My parents were stuck in Australia. They're still stuck in Australia. So I came to Israel after I finished high school. I was 18, grew up, born and raised, like really as a Zionist. So it kind of just makes sense. I came here as on a gap year and fell in love with the place. And wanted to, part of living here, for better or for worse, is to go into the army. And went to the army, drafted, and then continued with, post the army with my service from then. Obviously, a lot of reserves since then.
Yeah, definitely. Lots of reserves since October 7th for all of us here in Israel.
Yeah. For me, for reserves, I've just been in Judea and Samaria the whole time, but whether been in the north in Jenin, in Nablus, Shechem, and then even south of Jerusalem as well. When the war happens, I kind of understood that something different here is, something's changed. Something's different over here, and I've seen it over here working, for me personally, being here working for the past 6 months or so. The increase of the amount of soldiers, religious, not religious, connected, not connected, like coming to Israel to serve has been unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable and a massive increase. So it's amazing that there's more soldiers coming, but the more soldiers that are coming, that means that a lot more people are feeling their emotions, feeling, trauma, feeling PTSD from everything that's going on. You see things that are not normal. We're not supposed to really see as human beings, and we're seeing that. That's just on that level. There's also financially, physically, you have to live in a house, you have to pay for the bills, you have to get food, you have to come home on a Thursday night when you've been in Gaza or you've been in Judea and Samaria, you've been wherever you are for 4 or 5 days, and come home and now you're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Shabbos, meals, food, cooking, this, that. There's a lot of things on a lone soldier's plate. So the idea is at the center is to take everything that's on the lone soldier's plate to make their lives easier.
The Lone Soldier Center in memory of Michael Levin is the only organization in Israel dedicated entirely to supporting lone soldiers. Those incredible young men and women who come from all over the world or grow up here but without a family in Israel and serve in the IDF. They don't have parents to come home to on a weekend and that help them through the days. That's where the center steps in with housing, guidance, and a real sense of family. From the moment that they enlist to years after they finish their service, these soldiers give everything for Israel. The least that we can do is make sure that they're not alone while they do this. So standing with them is how we say thank you. So guys, if you want to support the lone soldiers in Israel, go to lonesoldierscenter.com/donate and help them. So I couldn't not notice that you have this plaque in the entrance of this facility with the fallen soldiers from Harvot Barzel, from the recent war in the Gaza Strip.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's more soldiers than this, and I guess that should be enough. We have to have a plaque at the entrance to honor their lives, giving up their lives for us, really, so that we can live here. It's really a constant reminder as I walk in, and anyone who walks in here, what our mission is, who we are, what we're doing this for, and hopefully we should see no more of these plaques.
This war has reminded us again that Israel's strength has never come from its size, but from its people, from the brave men and women of the IDF to the lone soldiers who leave everything behind to stand with Israel, to those who gave everything so that we could still be here, standing strong. Their courage, their sacrifice, and their quiet sense of duty are why this country endures. Service here isn't just a uniform, it's a promise to protect, to carry the weight together, and to never take freedom for granted. To every soldier, every reservist, every warrior, we see you, we honor you, and we are here because of you. And to you, our viewers, this is your moment to stand with those who stand for all of us. Support the brave young men and women who defend this nation and need your help. Go to lonesoldierscenter.com/donate and donate to the lone soldiers that defend Israel. Again, that's lonesoldierscenter.com/donate. And keep praying for the peace of Jerusalem.